People that think for themselves and people that blame everything in world history on the Jews, welcome to a brand new video. Today, we are covering the incredible Trump versus Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu situation. They basically had like an entire meeting today. They wanted to discuss tariffs. The reporters asked them lots of questions. Basically, stuff went down and it's crazy. But before getting into the details, I want to show you Twitter absolutely losing their mind over literally nothing. So this is a video that was taken in the Oval Office of Trump helping Netanyahu with his chair. You have to watch this. It's the greatest situation of all time. All right, so here he is. He's sitting down, and as you can see, Trump helps him sit down. He adjusts his chair. All right, so Trump adjusts his chair. You see Netanyahu smiling. He already knows that Twitter's gonna lose their mind. All right, and he signs his shit, whatever. All right. Pretty basic stuff, all right? He helped a man with his chair. Now, in my opinion, this means absolutely nothing. Okay, because Netanyahu is a friend of Donald Trump. He's a 75-year-old guy, and Trump treated him with respect and helped him with his chair. Now, does this mean that Israel controls the world? I don't know. Let's do a deep dive and find out. So, Disclose.tv, riveting news site, Trump pulls chair for Israel's Netanyahu. Bricks News, Trump pulls chair for President Netanyahu. I don't know why this is like such a crazy story, but breaking 911, Trump pulls chair for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Oh my God, it's every single news site is telling this story. Clash Report, Trump seats Netanyahu in his chair at the White House. Oh my God. Will we see Trump pull Netanyahu's chair for him again? Cucked. America is so cucked. I cannot believe Netanyahu controls Trump. Candace Owens warned us about this. Maybe she was completely correct. I mean, Israel has no tariffs on America right now, but America does have tariffs on Israel. But in my opinion, he's pulling a chair out for an old man, which is proof that the Jews control the world. Jake Shields, notorious anti-Semite. Now, I don't use the word anti-Semite literally a lot. I am not one to just call and label people anti-Semites. This guy actually is. His entire Twitter feed is just anti-Jews. The humiliation ritual of Trump helping Netanyahu sit down. The humiliation ritual. And no, I just want you to know, I don't actually say this like literally. Every single tweet is about Jews. Like all of them. Basically all the tweets. Here, this one. This has nothing to do with Jews. One nice part about having self-employed is Jews can't get me fired. Like, bro, what does this have to do with anything? This is just a cringy TikTok about tariffs. Like, this has nothing to do with anything. But, like, dude, is the Jew world order about to collapse? No, you don't understand. Like, this is literally what his entire content. But anyway, Trump became the servant of Netanyahu again, pushing in his chair as he signs papers in the White House. The servant of Israel that just put tariffs on Israel. Classic servant moment. Now, the funny thing is, Netanyahu gave Trump a bomb threat. Trump gave Netanyahu a key to the White House and pushed his chair in like a butler. I wonder which of these guys is in charge here. Jake Shields responds, trust the plan. I'm telling you, it's this weird little gaggle of people that are pushing these conspiracies. It's awesome. Now, Trump pulls the chair for Netanyahu. Now people are they're claiming he's controlled by Israel. Like, dog. This is why Candace Owens right now is anti-Trump, because she buys all these conspiracy theories. It's insane. Now, the funny thing is, and this was not reported on the news anywhere, Trump also helps, Modi, President Modi. This is the president of India. He also helps him sit down when he signs papers. Wow! It's almost like he's just a nice guy, and he helps his friends sit down like a gentleman actually does. Oh my God! Modi isn't even Jewish, and he's still moving the chair for him. Maybe he just has respect for his friends that are also world leaders, that are also fucking old guys. Modi's old, Netanyahu's old, they're all friends, and he's pulling his chair out for him. It's almost like Prime Minister Modi over here, a Hindu guy from India, also controls the White House. I cannot believe this is happening. This is such a wild time. Both India and Israel control America right now. It is an occupied nation. I'm glad everyone is noticing. It's truly hilarious, and I do have to say, this is my favorite executive order of all time, so I'm going to play this executive order right now. Lock in, because this is the greatest executive order ever signed.
This executive order is for allowing people who are complaining about your tariffs to be permanently labeled as whiny, retarded, sad little bitches.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening?
God damn, I hope you were listening. Were you listening, guys? Because that was awesome. That was crazy. My favorite executive order of all time. One more time in case you missed it.
This executive order is for allowing people who are complaining about your tariffs to be permanently labeled as whiny, retarded, sad little bitches.
Hold it. This is a good one.
I voted for this, says Tim Pool. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. And so anyway, I just wanted to, before we get into the entire Trump-Netanyahu actual discussion in the Oval Office, answering questions from reporters, literally in history's most transparent presidency of all time, I just wanted to show you Twitter's reaction to all this. Apparently, because he helped him in his seat, Israel controls America and the government, and Trump is a puppet. So anyway, I'm glad that we were able to tackle some of the retards before diving into actual news. But I think retards are also news. The retards don't get enough coverage. If you want professional retard coverage, you should be subscribed to this channel. So anyway, let's see what actually went down.
Israel, and we had lunch together. We had meetings together, along with his very capable staff, and I think we've come up to some pretty good solutions and conclusions. Right. And
dude, apparently the media loses their shit in this press conference. What, Asmongold was upset? Oh my God! All right, lock in. This just happened.
A little bit after this, and then I assume you're going back home. This is a
yes. Netanyahu flies 12 hours each way to America to meet Trump. Trump helps him for 10 seconds sit down in his chair. Clearly, Israel's controlling America. Yes, clearly.
Quick stop, in and out. But we appreciate you being here, and we are a friend of...
In and out, just like I did with Melania. It was amazing. All 7 swing states, Carayo Trump.
Israel, as you know, I would say that I'm by far the best president that Israel has ever even thought of seeing.
I don't say it. That's what they say it. They all say it, bro. They all say it. Listen, I didn't say it. They said I'm the best president. That was their opinion. I mean, I have to say.
And it's an honor to be so, and to be so thought of. And many friends in Israel. They are not in an easy area. It doesn't go easy, but we are helping them. And likewise, they've been helping us very much. And so we'll see how it all works out. But we had great discussions today, I think, on the obvious subject of Iran, and also the less obvious subject with respect to Israel, and that's trade. And I think the Prime Minister is going to tell you a little bit about trade and what they're doing.
My favorite thing is the new movement saying that Iran is not a threat. Those people, like, they're literally not living in reality. I feel like there are so many, like, actual retards out there. Oh my God. Anyway.
The United States. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you very much. And
thank you.
Benjamin, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Don. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. President, I want to first thank you for inviting me again to the White House. You've been a remarkable friend of the State of Israel. You stand by us. You're standing with us. You are a great, great champion of our alliance.
Right.
And you actually do.
You guys don't know this, by the way, but in Israel, people like Trump in Israel more than people like Trump in America. Like, there are so many, like, when Trump won the presidency, everyone in Israel was fucking partying. Like, you don't understand. That was like an actual, like, celebration day. It's crazy. People in Israel like Trump way more than people in Israel like Netanyahu. Like, just to put this in perspective, it's wild.
The things that you say you do, and I think that people respect that enormously. I certainly do. And
yeah, he's right.
People of Israel.
Trump's honest. Every single president before becoming president, from Obama to Biden, they all said, we need reciprocal tariffs. None of them had the balls to do it. Not a single one of them, because they knew it would tank the stock market and it would look bad. Trump actually had the gigantic swinging orange nutsack. It wasn't me that said it. they did. They all said it. I walked in and they were like, wow, Mr. President, what a gigantic cock you have. And I was like, yes, I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm glad you did. All 7 swinging balls.
And I think the Jewish people do as well. We just saw your representative in the Department of Justice fighting anti-Semitism, standing up for Israel in international forums. I just want you to know from the heart, it's deeply, deeply appreciated. As you said, we had the opportunity to talk today about many subjects. First, if I can mention tariffs, it's a subject of some interest today.
Tariffs.
I can tell you that I said to the President a very simple thing. We will eliminate the trade deficit with the United States.
All right. The tariffs are working, guys. Say what you want. The tariffs are freaking working. The tariffs are supposed to eliminate the deficits between trades. Bro, it's over, man. That's one. That's one. I think, what, is Israel the first country to do it? Or is Argentina the first country to do it? Like, it's almost like it's actually working. Crazy.
We intend to do it very quickly. We think it's the right thing to do. And we're going to also eliminate trade barriers, a variety of trade barriers that have been put up unnecessarily. And I think Israel can serve as a model for many countries who ought to do the same.
I mean, realistically, you call yourselves allies, you believe in free trade, but you tariff America and America doesn't tariff you? That's an abusive relationship, motherfucker. Not anymore, bitch. Not anymore. I don't know, man. It's completely logical. Why should America be taken advantage of by literally everyone on the planet?
Recognize the position of the United States. It says, you know, we're allowing other countries to put tariffs on us, but we don't put tariffs on them. And, you know, I'm a free trade champion, and free trade has to be fair trade. And I think that's basically the position that you have put forward, Mr. President. We are going to eliminate the tariffs, and rapidly. I had the opportunity to speak to Secretary Lutnick yesterday. We talked about how we could effect this quickly, and I hope to bring the solution very quickly. We're not talking about intentions. We're not talking about, you know, just words. We're talking about results.
That's good.
Those results are going to come. And that's the first.
Thank you very much. That's very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And Trump takes a big W. I'm not gonna lie. Trump takes a W. And honestly, with all the money that you know, America gives Israel altogether, also to help with tons of things. Obviously, every relationship goes both ways. You know, Israel helps a lot with technological advancements. Trump wants Israel's Iron Dome over Israel and shit, over America. But let's be real here. America gives billions of dollars to Israel, and this is just obviously a good way moving forward. And the tariffs were the kick in the pants that the world needed to actually recognize that they shouldn't be taken advantage of. I think everyone's complaining about the reciprocal tariffs because they're so upset. All right, he wanted to rename the Iron Dome to the Golden Dome. I forgot. Dude, Trump goes crazy. Oh my. The United States of America, United Countries of Trump. We're renaming Mars to Planet Trump.
President.
Let him finish.
Finish. You can begin.
Bro, the reporters interrupted him. Oh my God, they're so annoying. They're so annoying. Wait, one more time. Hold up.
Let him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, he says thank you. The reporters immediately start.
President.
Let him finish.
Finish. You can begin.
Oh my God. Dude, these reporters are so fucking insufferable. It's unbelievable.
We spoke about not only the hostages, but about Gaza. The hostages obviously is a human story of just unbearable agony. I speak to the families. I spoke to them yesterday. Spoke to another one when I was in Hungary before I came here. I speak to them every day. They're in agony. The hostages are in agony, and we want to get them all out. Steve Witkoff, President Trump's very able representative, helped us get a deal that got 25 out. We're working now on another deal that we hope will succeed. And we're committed to getting all the hostages out, but also eliminating the evil tyranny of Hamas in Gaza and enabling the people of Gaza to freely make a choice to go wherever they want.
Oh my God, Trump Gaza, it's happening. Oh my God, I can't believe that the world is moving with this shit. It's amazing. What are we... I love how for the last 20 years, all right, since 2005, when Hamas was elected in Gaza, right, and they became these oppressive people where all the leaders of Hamas are worth billions of dollars each. Every single one of the leaders of Hamas are worth billions of dollars, taking tons of the humanitarian shit that's going to the citizens and taking it for themselves. Like, they're actual monsters, the Hamas terrorists. And everyone for years was trying to figure out a way, all right, we need a new election in Gaza, we need to do something with this, and then Trump is like, new plan, we're taking it, it's gonna be the Trump Gaza, it's gonna be crazy. Gaza Strip, more like Gaza Strip Mall under Donald Trump. I don't know, man. He just says shit and the world is like, holy fuck.
I mean, they should have that choice. And the president put forward a vision, a bold vision, which we discussed as well, including the countries that might be amenable and are amenable to accepting Palestinians of their free choice if they choose to go there. And I think that's the second thing that we discussed. But the hostages came right on top. We also discussed the situation.
Yeah, there's still American hostages, by the way, held by the Hamas terrorists, too. Like, I think there's 59 hostages that they still have, including Americans. Like, it's fucking awful. Trump sneezes and the world screams. Real. Bro, Trump pulled out Netanyahu's chair and Twitter lit on fire. Like, you gotta realize how fucking insane this shit is.
We've had neighborly relations with Turkey that have deteriorated, and we don't want to see Syria being used by anyone, including Turkey, as a base for attack in Israel. Turkey is a country that has a great relationship with the United States. The president has a relationship with the leader of Turkey.
Turkey's doing some crazy shit right now.
We discussed how we can avoid this conflict in a variety of ways, and I think we can't have a better interlocutor than the President of the United States for this purpose. And of course, we also discussed Iran. Look, we're both united in the goal that Iran does not ever get nuclear weapons. If it can be done diplomatically in a full way, the way it was done in Libya, I think that would be a good thing. But whatever happens, we have to make sure that Iran does not have nuclear weapons.
Yeah, I think anyone reasonable agrees that no one wants Iran to get nuclear weapons, especially when it's literally been proven. I don't know. I think I have the details somewhere. It's literally just been proven that Iran is the one that's funding. They funded Hamas. They funded the Houthis. They're funding Hezbollah. Like, all of these terrorist organizations are basically Iran proxies. Like, if they get nuclear weapons, it could be very, very not good at all. There was this article that just came out that Hamas leaders apparently asked Iran for $500 million in 2021 to destroy Israel within 2 years. And apparently that was true. Apparently they got it. Like, how crazy is that? They were given millions of dollars a year by Iran, the terrorists. Like, I don't know, it's kind of wild. This is the greatest podcast of all time. Just Trump doing podcasts with, like, world leaders. Holy shit. This is the level of transparency that I think a government should have with their people. Like, especially in something that's supposed to be a democratic country. This should happen.
That's the end of my speech.
Mr. President, your reaction to the market?
Oh my God, they just immediately jump on the tariffs. Dude, I am telling you, the Trump cast is great, but the reporters, they gotta get pruned. They have to eliminate half of these bitches. If they ask stupid questions, they need to get cooked. I'm not saying that tariffs are a stupid question, but I'm sure that that's going to be all their questions, because everyone in the media is so pigeonholed on the latest hoax and the latest bullshit and the latest scam and the latest drama that they can't actually ask decent questions. They're all going to ask tariffs. Watch.
Having direct talks with, wait a minute, wait.
He's still talking, for God's sake. The president, man.
We're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. It'll go on Saturday. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. And I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable
facts,
to doing the obvious. And
the obvious is war. Yeah, deal better. A deal's better than war. Facts. I'm with him. He's spitting.
Obvious is not something that I want to be involved with, or frankly, that Israel wants to be involved with if they can avoid it. So we're going to see if we can avoid it. But it's getting to be very dangerous territory. And hopefully those talks will be successful. And I think it would be in Iran's best interests if they are.
It's in their best interest, or else. Yeah, we know what the alternative is, Mr. President. We saw the video you posted with the Houthis getting obliterated. Definitely check that out in my Democrats are 190% fuck video.
Successful. We hope that's going to happen. And we had just a lot of good talks on a lot of things. I appreciate very much what you said about the tariffs. We've been ripped off and taken advantage of by many countries over the years, and can't do it anymore. Just can't do it anymore. We can't be the stupid.
Yeah, it reached a breaking point. That shit, the dam had to break. And everyone knew that the moment the reciprocal tariffs go up is the moment that the stock market would go down. That's just the reality of life. But realistically, the world could not keep abusing America forever. Everyone else just kicked the ball a little further down the road and never solved the problem. Again, listen, you can complain about tariffs all you want. Obviously, the stock market did go down. But realistically, I do think it is going to be relatively short term. And for the sake of the country, I do think it would be advantageous. Not to say that it's obviously not a really shitty situation right now, but that shit's temporary, hopefully.
People anymore. And it's all because of the people that sat in the seat right here. Not your seat, but this seat. They allowed things to happen to our country that they shouldn't have allowed to happen.
Yeah.
On trade and other things, many other things. I mean, look at...
It's nice to have a businessman actually running the government like a business. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty nice to see.
What's happened with our
Or these politicians just worried about all this bullshit.
president, where he allowed millions of people to come into our country with an open border. Who would want an open border? How stupid is that?
I mean, the irony is that he's talking about how dangerous it is to have people coming in through an open border to, you know, Netanyahu. The last time people came into Israel, they murdered 1,300 civilians and took 500, people hostages. That's the last time people crossed their border. So talking about open borders, you are preaching to the choir, Mr. Orange Man.
But he allowed millions and millions of people, and of the millions, and I think it was 21 million people, but let's say 3 of them were serious criminals, serious murderers and drug dealers and gang members and people from jails. All the jails emptied out right into
all 7 swing states, immigration down 94%. Everyone's going crazy. I'm cooking.
Country right along the open
all
border.
7 swing states.
On Mexico, generally the Mexico open. They came in from Canada too, by the way, a lot. But generally speaking on the southern border. And what a shame it is that we are now working very hard to get them out, get the criminals out, get the murderers out, the drug dealers, the mentally insane, get them out. They dropped the mentally insane in our country too. And this was all done by the Biden administration. It's a disgrace that we have to work so hard. And then we have judges that try and protect these people, but they didn't protect us when the people were being let in.
Dude, the judges are the funniest pieces of shit out there. Apparently the Supreme Court just voted against the judge that tried to stop Trump, by the way. Random little update. But, dude, I love those judges. I love them. I'm a random judge in the middle of Hicktown nowhere. My daughter works with illegal immigrants. I have decided to veto the president's power. So real, so true, because this Obunga appointed judge is better than the elected commander-in-chief of the country. All these people complaining about how Elon is an unelected official, then the freaking judges come out of the woodwork to block the president's orders. You have to be retarded to be on the side of the fucking bullshit judges that are stopping Trump from deporting murderers.
But to get them out is never easy with these people, so I think we're doing a great job. The border is the best it's ever been. It's even as strong as it was. I had a great, solid border. I think it might even be tougher right now and stronger. So people are coming into our country, but they're coming in legally. We have a legal process, and we have that moving along properly because we need people to come into our country, but we want people that can love our country and cherish.
I mean, he's completely right. I think every country needs to start doing this. I know that this is going to be a controversial opinion to some, but I think every country, when it comes to immigration, should only immigrate people that directly love the country / want to contribute and improve the country. They should not be letting people into the country that literally want the downfall of Western civilization. A hot take, I know, that's controversial. Hamas Piker does not like this idea, but my opinion, if you don't think that way, you're probably retarded. or support terrorism.
So that's where we
One
are.
or the
And with
other.
that, any questions?
All right, here we go.
Mr. President, your reaction to the markets today, and would you be open to a pause in tariffs to allow for negotiation?
No fucking way he's pausing tariffs. It'll make him look like a bitch. I hate when they ask these questions because she knows the answer is no. She's just trying to frame it in a way that the people will hear her question and think she's right because they're retarded. I don't think you recognize when you're talking to a giant society of hundreds of millions of people, you're gonna have a lot of retards out there. They're gonna hear what she says and be like, wow, that actually makes sense, even though it's completely ridiculous.
Well, we're not looking at that. We have many countries that are coming to negotiate deals with us, and they're going to be fair deals. And in certain cases, they're going to be paying substantial tariffs. There'll be fair deals. As you know, I spoke this morning with the Prime Minister of Japan, and we had a very good conversation. They're coming. And I said, one thing, you're going to have to open up your country because we sold no cars, like 0 cars in Japan.
God damn.
And they sold millions of cars into our country. They don't really take our agriculture, a little bit of it just to keep us slightly happy, but they don't take what they're supposed to be taking. So we have a great relationship with Japan. We're going to keep it that way, but they're coming in to meet, and other countries are coming in. With China, as you know, against my statement, they put a 34% tariff on above what their ridiculous tariffs were already. And I said, if that tariff isn't removed by tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we're putting a 50% tariff on above the tariffs that we put on.
He's completely correct. You don't let other countries bully you and push you around. If you buckle, you look like a bitch. This is literally high school bullying 101. We've all been there. Unless you've gone to one of those high schools where you're not allowed to talk to people or they will consider you abusive. All right, one of those high schools. Nah, dude. Nah, bro. You do not buckle.
So they've gone for years. They've become a rich country because of people, again, that were in the White House that allowed this to happen. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year they'd make on us on trade, and it shouldn't be that way. And I have a great relationship with President Xi. I hope it's going to stay that way. I have great respect for China. But they can't do this with just, we're going to have one shot at this, and no other president's going to do this, what I'm doing. And I'll tell you what.
He's not wrong.
It's an honor to do it.
Even Obama said they needed reciprocal tariffs, and he didn't do it. Absolute pussy move by Obunga, by the way. I've already covered that, and the Democrats are 190% fuck video on my channel, but he's right.
Because we have been just destroyed, what they've done to our system. You know, we have $36 trillion of debt for a reason. And the reason is that people allowed it to get that way. So we'll be talking to China. We'll be talking to a lot of different countries. And I think, you know, if we can make a really fair deal and a good deal for the United States, not a good deal for others. This is America first. That's now America first.
He's right.
And we didn't put America first. We put America last.
He's right. And the irony is the Democrats that are complaining about this, they are literally fighting on behalf of the billionaires. The Democrats became the party of the rich, and somehow Trump's administration is the party of the everyday person. Like, we are witnessing, like, actual history unfolding in front of our eyes, and people are just too retarded to open their eyes and look at it rationally. They'd much rather just parrot talking points that they see on CNN. It's insane, the level of propaganda that actually works on people.
That were in the Oval Office put America last, and we're not going to stand for it.
But Mr. President, you've said, Mr. President,
oh my God, shut up.
Mr. President,
Mr. President,
going to represent the U.S.
Is this a shouting match?
in the talks with Iran.
Two questions. Do you expect any of these deals to be made before April 9th? And secondly, there have been some mixed messages from your administration. You're talking about negotiations, and yet others in your administration are saying that these tariffs are actually permanent. What is that? What's actually going on?
They can both be true. There can be permanent tariffs, and there can also be negotiations, because there are things that we need beyond.
A deal is always open. Every good businessman knows that there's always an opportunity for a deal. No deals are off the table.
Tariffs. We need open borders. You know, we almost had a deal with China where we're going to open up China. It was almost done. Some of you remember it during my first term. And it was very disappointing. We ended up making a great deal. $50 billion worth of product was sold. $50 billion. You'd like that in Israel. And I made that deal, but it wasn't the deal that I wanted. It was The deal that I wanted was that, plus they were going to open up China so that our companies could go into China and
this giant
compete
schlong.
with other
Holy.
countries and China for the, for a large number of people. And at the very end, that deal was terminated, and we went to a piece of the deal. And there are a lot of things outside of tariffs.
We call this deal, it's a huge piece. We call it the One Piece. It's gonna be big.
Tariffs are
No more Houthis in One Piece.
very important, but there are a lot of things like opening up countries that were totally closed. China's essentially a closed country. In fact, it is a closed country. And what they do is they charge tariffs so that if you sell cars or if you sell anything, nobody's going to buy it because the price is out of control. But that's true with a lot of other countries also. So we're going to get fair deals.
And apparently, China recently put out a statement saying America is bullying them. Like, dude, come on, man. Stop with this. Everyone that has eyes knows the truth. Imagine the Democrats are on China's side over America. How on earth do you lose the plot so badly?
And good deals with every country, and if we don't, we're going to have nothing to do with them. They're not going to be allowed to participate in the United States.
Mr. President,
You shut up, you freaking reporter children. What is this, a South Park NPCs? Rabble.
Mr. President, Mr. President, many of
It's crazy. It's almost like they're friends. Damn, I can't believe it. I can't believe Israel would control Trump, making him smile like that.
Thank you for the chance. Many of Palestinian Americans who voted for you and not for Biden because you've promised them to end the war in Gaza.
Yeah, he's the only one that actually is trying to end the war in Gaza. Like, I love that these people are all such retards. You know why there was a ceasefire? It was because of Trump, bro.
Honored by that vote, too.
The war is still going on and there's no hostage deal. Do you have any update?
They still have hostages. If they would have let all the hostages out, the war would have ended. There literally are still hostages, including America hostages held by Hamas terrorists.
No?
Well, I'd like to see the war stop, and I think the war will stop at some point that won't be in the too distant future. Right now we have a problem with hostages. We're trying to get the hostages out. We got quite a few of them out, but it's a long process. It shouldn't be that long. We have a big problem that we've done. I think I'll ask Pete to maybe talk about it for a second, because a lot of are asking. The Houthis, we've been very tough and very successful militarily.
Yeah, they bombed the fuck out of the Houthis.
We've really damaged them badly. These were people shooting down ships and other things, by the way, flying up.
The Houthis are monsters. They're terrorists. They use child soldiers. They fucking kill innocent people a lot. They shoot American ships. They shoot missiles indiscriminately into populated Israeli cities. They're monsters. They're terrorists, and fuck them. And obviously, you're gonna have your moral consequentialists, your Hassan Pikers out there talking about how, oh no, I can't believe that the Houthis they're just trying to stop oppression. No, they're oppressive motherfucking bitch terrorists. Fuck them all. I know that this is a controversial opinion. People say that I'm heartless for this. If you have a heart for this, then you're the monster, okay? No more suicidal empathy. No more bullshit. Big heart, bleeding heart for the terrorists. Nah, dude. Blow the shit out of them. And not in a sexy way.
Like airplanes. And we've put a major hurt on the Houthis, which nobody's been able to do. We've really hit them hard, and they know it, and they don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah, they know it. Ho, ho, ho. Luffy no longer in one piece.
And it's every night, night after night, and we've gotten many of their leaders and their experts. They're experts on missiles. I mean, they actually make missiles. Nobody thought that, but they make missiles. It's highly sophisticated, and they're very tough.
Yeah, they're terrorists. I don't know if you're aware. Like, dude. Okay, so just because no one in America actually is fully aware of this, no one in America is actually aware of like how vicious these people are. Aside from the fact that they use child soldiers and they murder civilians and they do all sorts of unbelievably heinous shit. All right. People don't realize that they still, to this day, are constantly shooting missiles into civilian territories. to the fact that on a multiple bases every single week, multiple times, you have people running into bomb shelters, trying their best to avoid literally dying from missiles being shot just into generic cities of people. Like, these are not good guys, right? This just happened last week. All right, this is a giant Houthi attack. This is just basic Israel, all right? This is just civilian cities. This isn't like military targets or anything. This is another instance of it that happened last week. So when this is a normal thing that happens, like this is the city of Jerusalem, okay? This is just regular people, Jews and Arabs live in Jerusalem. Like, they do this all the time. All right, this is a common thing. They're monsters. Fuck them. No empathy for terrorists. I'm sorry. Kill them. They're terrorists. And they're bad guys. Bye.
But they've been very badly damaged. Nobody else was able to do that but us. Pete, you want to discuss that, please?
Yes, sir. It's been a bad 3 weeks for the Houthis.
Yeah, it is.
It's about to get worse.
Ah! Oh my God.
It's been a devastating campaign, whether it's underground facilities, weapons manufacturing, bunkers, troops in the open, air defense assets. We are not going to relent. And it's
God
only to get
damn!
more unrelenting until the Houthis declare they will stop shooting at our ships. And we've been...
You shoot an American ship, the American ship shoots back. No more bitch shit. No more listening to random retards that are probably being funded by Qatar protesting and talking about how you shouldn't bomb the terrorists back after they bomb you. If you don't bomb them back, they'll just bomb you again. You can't incentivize these atrocities. You punish them. It's obvious. I'm sorry. I know we live in a modern era where everyone has cell phones and everyone has an opinion on things that they honestly have no idea what it's like. But if you have ever had to run into a bunker with 30-second notice of a Houthi missile maybe blowing up your house, and you had to run across the street from the market to find a bunker, you would also not like the Houthis. They're bad guys. They bomb American ships, they bomb civilians, they torture their own people, they use child soldiers. Fuck them, honestly. Zero mercy. I'm being very stern about this because the largest leftist political streamer in the world right now, Hamas Piker, is what he goes by. He supports Houthi terrorists. These are bad guys, monsters.
Been very clear, the Iranians as well. They should not continue to provide support to the Houthis, and that message has been made very clear. So we have a lot more options and a lot more pressure to apply, and we know, because we see the reports, how devastating this campaign has been in them, and we will not relent.
We have a great military. There's no military like our military, and despite...
Best military, no military like ours. We're large, we're big. No more trans people in the military. We're so huge. Our military's around. Oh, yes, I didn't say it. That's what they say. I just approved. That's what they said.
Biden having given a lot, but nevertheless a pretty small piece, but it was a lot of our military away in Afghanistan, and one of the dumbest situations, I think, and maybe the most embarrassing situation we've ever been involved in. That short
It
period
was such a huge L. Just huge Biden L. Holy shit.
of time in Afghanistan. What a disgrace that was, but left a lot of our military behind. Left.
Dude,
You see them
unbelievable.
in their annual parades where they're parading trucks that are armor plated and different things that they can't. But it's many billions of dollars we left behind. But despite that, we have a tremendous military. That was a very small portion because we rebuilt the military during my first term, and we have great things happening with our military. We also essentially approved a budget, which is in the facility. You'll like to hear this, of $1 trillion, $1 trillion.
Oh my
And
God!
nobody's seen anything like it. We have to
Oh,
build our
Lord.
military, and we're very cost conscious, but the military is something that we have to build, and we have to be strong because you got a lot of bad forces out there now. So we're going to be approving a budget, and I'm proud to say, actually, the biggest one we've ever done for the military.
God damn.
We're cutting other things that were under DOGE, but under a lot of other. When you look
Good
at
shit.
a woman getting $2 billion for environmental, and it had nothing to do with environmental.
Nah, that's a scam, bro. Nah,
And they had
dude.
$100 in the bank, and they give her $2 billion. Many,
Oh
many
my
of
God.
those cases.
Many such cases, not a coincidence. DOGE discovered funding underwater chicken tickling in Afghanistan. I don't know who approved it, but we're looking into it.
All that stuff is going to be cut out, but we
Good
are
shit.
getting a very, very
Good shit.
powerful military. We have things under order now, the likes of which we've never had before.
Oh my
We've never
God.
had the kind of aircraft, the
Oh
kind
Lord.
of missiles, anything that we have ordered. And it's in many ways too bad that we have to do it, because hopefully we're not going to have to use it.
Yeah, obviously, no one wants to get into war, but if you do get into war, you want to fucking win, okay? Listen, I'm not... War bad, all right? I have a very, very real stance here. War bad. However, if it starts, you want to win.
But the military is very, very powerful, and it's going to remain that way.
How do you
Mr. President, you said, Mr. President.
The actual children, these reporters.
I want to ask you about Iran, because this is the first time we hear that the U.S. is having a direct contact with the Iranians. Is it possible to give us some more information at what level the U.S. is
High level,
represented?
very high level. Yeah.
And
We're dealing with
S-tier communications. No one hangs up the phone on the Donald.
the Iranians. We have a very big meeting on Saturday, and we're dealing with them directly. You know, a lot of people say, oh, maybe you're going through surrogates, or you're not dealing directly, you're dealing through other countries. No, we're dealing with them directly, and maybe a deal's going to be made. That'd be great. It'd be really great for Iran, I can tell you that.
Oh, God.
But hopefully, we're not going to have to get into that.
Dude, I really hope that there isn't some Iran war. I really hope that Iran just is like, you know what, Mr. President? You seem like an upstanding guy. No more missiles. No more missiles. We will stop doing nukes. Oh, man.
We are meeting very importantly on Saturday at almost the highest level, and we'll see how it works out. Please.
How do you ensure, Mr. President, that these tariffs don't drive U.S. trading partners into the hands of the Chinese? That they
I'm
don't.
not worried about it. I'm not worried
Oh,
about it.
shit.
If they want to be in the hands of the U.S., they
You
don't
have
want
to
to be.
realize Trump is playing a really difficult game here because he obviously wants to make deals with everybody. Sorry for being a political analyst on my free time, but Trump is trying his best to make deals with people. He wants, ultimately, I think, he wants all of them to drop their tariffs. So when he puts reciprocal tariffs, I think what ultimately he wants is genuine free trade instead of the facade that was made believe to be free trade. Because remember, tariffs are only good when other countries put them on the United States, according to our tolerant left friends. That is why tariffs are good. Tariffs are only good when other people do them, not when Trump does them, okay? All right, okay. Anywho, the interesting thing is he has to really dance on a fine line. On the one hand, he wants them to drop their tariffs. On the other hand, I don't think he actually wants to tell them that, hey, I don't want these tariffs to be here, but we're doing them because it'll give them much more bargaining power. So he has to stay steadfast in the way he addresses the reporters. But even though in his head, I think what he really wants is for them to say, you know what, let's actually do free trade and drop our tariffs.
Be in the hands of the Chinese. And, the Chinese have turned out to be really not very good at that. People that are with us, they're with us.
China.
We cannot be taken advantage of any longer. I used to watch these deals for years. I've been talking about it for years. You know, I've been talking about
That's
it for 35 years.
He has.
How our country is being ripped off. I mean, 30 years ago it was Japan, then it was something else, then it was another group, then it was China. China's doing the best job of it, frankly. And it's just not going to happen. Not going to happen.
And on that, Mr. President, you've said, Mr. President, you've said it may take.
Bro, actual children, it's unbelievable.
That they have offered 0 for 0 tariffs on cars and industrial goods. Is that not enough?
Well, the EU, no, it's
Dude, you have to realize, if they say 0 tariffs on cars, but they're still going to do tariffs in other places that's more advantageous to them, it still doesn't help the issue that America's being taken advantage of.
not. The EU has been very tough over the years. I always say it was formed to really do damage to the United States in trade. That's the reason it was formed.
Shit.
It was formed with
Oh, God, that's a big statement.
from Europe, I guess most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And they formed together to create a little bit of a monopoly situation to create a unified force against the United States for trade. So they have NATO, which is largely the same countries, and they took advantage of us dollar-wise and militarily until I got there. You know, I was able to get $600 billion from NATO.
Oh, shit.
Where they paid NATO because most of these nations weren't even paying. We were paying for NATO. So we're paying them to guard them militarily, and they're screwing us on trade. So that's not a good combination.
Make that make sense. Oh, don't worry. It's because tariffs are only bad when Trump does them. Orange tariffs bad.
So now it's really turned around. It's the opposite. And the European Union's been very bad to us. They don't take our cars, like Japan in that sense. They don't take our agricultural product. They don't take anything practically. And yet they said... I love how you have
people on Twitter saying, it's not true that they don't take their cars. Of course they do. Yeah, just that massive tariffs. Good point. Good point.
Millions of cars in a year. Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, BMWs. They're sending millions and millions of cars into the U.S., but we don't have a car that's been sold to the European Union or other places, but let's go for the European Union. And it's not going to be that way. It's got to be fair and reciprocal. It's got to be fair. It's not fair. We have a deficit with the European Union of $350 billion, and it's going to disappear fast. And one of the reasons and one of the ways that that can disappear easily and quickly is they're going to have to buy our energy from us because they need it. They're going to have to buy it from us. They can buy it. We can knock off $350 billion in 1 week. They have to buy and commit to buy a like amount of energy, and we have that. You know, we have more energy than any country in the world. I don't know if you know that. He knows everything, but the one thing he may not know, we have more energy than any country in the world. We have more of...
Trump is just flexing at this point.
Every kind of energy, every
He's just
form
flexing.
Of energy, from
oil
and gas to coal, and people talk about, I call it beautiful, clean coal. As you know, Germany is opening up a coal plant a week. They tried the windmills and it didn't work. They tried all the other solutions and they were ready to go out of business. Now they're doing a coal plant a week. China is now up to 2 coal plants. They're opening 2 major coal plants every single week in China, all over China. And then we're not allowed to use coal. Well, we have...
the irony that only, well, if America stops doing environmental damage, but everyone else continues to do environmental damage, well, that'll save the world.
Clean, beautiful coal more than anybody else. We have oil and gas more than anybody else. We have the most energy of any country in the world, including Saudi Arabia, including everybody, by a lot. And I took it to number 1. We were number 3, and I took it to number 1 during my administration.
God damn.
And
drill, baby, drill. All 7 swing states. Majority vote.
The reason
cry out Trump every 4 years.
We were hurt so badly, and the reason that we went into such incredible inflation during Biden is energy. It was also their bad spending, but energy, because they played around with this incredible thing that we had built, this administration had built, and the energy costs went through the roof. And when that went up, everything else followed. Now, if you look at what's happening, you're going to see this today. I said we're going to try and get groceries down, right? Old-fashioned.
I love the word groceries, different foods in a bag.
Term, but a beautiful term. Eggs. So
I love how he does that every time.
When I got in, the press went absolutely crazy.
Dude, he's so right about this. This is my favorite example of Trump derangement syndrome. Trump walks into office the first day. Egg prices aren't down yet, Mr. President. You've literally lied to your constituents. And then now egg prices are down. No one's talking about it.
First week, they said eggs have quadrupled in price. I said, I just got here. Tell me about it. And Brooke Rollins and our team did a great job. And eggs are down now 79%, and they're all over the place.
Oh my God! Where's the media? Why doesn't people? I haven't heard a single media outlet talk about how eggs are down 79%. Everyone was really quick to roast him about it, even though it was literally Biden's fault. Everyone's really quick to roast Trump about egg prices the moment he got into president, but now no one cares. These guys are such two-timing, despicable, two-faced little pieces of fucking shit. Unbelievable, these children.
And this was a problem that somebody else would have taken a long time to cure. We have energy is down. We have interest rates are down. We have groceries, meaning food is down. We have everything is down at levels that nobody ever thought possible. Energy looks like it's going to be in the $2.50 a gallon range, and maybe below that for a car. So for gas,
almost like the middle class in America, as the economy for them specifically is actually better under Trump. Kind of weird how that happened. Bernie Sanders yelling about the oligarchy, but the oligarchy, it's the rich people. He's only doing tax cuts for the rich. And in reality, it's the middle class that's getting by far the biggest bump.
So we're really doing amazing. I mean, we're cutting prices because prices got so high people couldn't live. I mean, the prices for groceries, the prices for standard groceries, standard things were going through the roof. They couldn't live, and now those prices are coming down. So call them groceries, but that's down, energy's down, and interest rates are down. Everything's down.
Weird.
The interest rates, the beauty there is when we refinance debt, debt's become such a big factor in this country. We're going to start paying debt off with tariffs and other things, but it's such a big factor because the interest rate's so high. Well, now that's coming.
I love watching a president actually talk about these things and knows what he's talking about. It's wild. It's wild watching him actually know what he's talking about in regards to like basic business shit, because he's a businessman. Then other than that, you got Biden talking about how Russia could do small incursions in Ukraine and shit.
Way down, so our budget's going to look a lot better because interest costs are way down, and I guess I've done that.
Mr. President.
That's what they said. I don't know. I didn't check. That's what they said. They said I was goated.
Mr. President, you've said.
Oh my God, they're unbelievable. They're insufferable.
Many Israelis are watching you now on live show. Good. What is your specific way?
Wait, what did he say? Hold up.
Many Israelis are watching you now on live show. Good. What is your specific
Many Israelis are watching you now. Good.
way of getting the hostages out from the horrific captivity?
We are trying very hard to get the hostages out. We're looking at another ceasefire. We'll see what happens. But we want to get the hostages out. The Israeli people want the hostages out more than anything. They want the hostages out. This man is working very hard with us to do that. I mean, I don't know. I hope he's being appreciated because he's been a great leader. He's working very, very hard on the hostages and many other things. And there are plenty of things you have to work on. It's a tough place in the world, isn't it?
I have a good partner.
Yeah, you do have a good partner, and so do we. We're working very hard on the hostages.
The mutual glaze. You love to see it.
Mr. President.
If you're going to negotiate a new deal with Iran, can you elaborate how it's going to be more effective than the JCPOA?
Well, I can't really say that, but I think it'll be different and maybe a lot stronger. But they were so happy when we made that first deal because we did get a lot out. You know, I had people right in this office, this beautiful Oval Office. They came in, 10 people, hostages, you know that.
Oh, God, dude.
And I said to them, so how was it? And the stories they told me, I mean, as an example, I said to them, was there any sign of love? You were there.
Oh, God, dude.
10 people. It's only 10, but it's pretty representative. Did the Hamas show any signs of, like, help or liking you? Did they wink at you? Did they give you a piece of bread extra? Did they give you a meal on the side, like, you know, you think of doing? Like what happened in Germany, what happened elsewhere. People would try and help people that were in unbelievable distress. They said no. I said all of them. I said, did they ever wink at you like, you'll be okay? You're going to be okay? No, they didn't do that. They'd slap us. The hatred is unbelievable. And the lives, you know, they lived in a pipe. Not really a tunnel, it was a pipe.
Awful.
And they always thought they were suffocating, they were gonna suffocate. And then they'd open up the pipe and it was like 3.5 feet high. This isn't, you know, we hear tunnels bad, but pipes are worse. And the stories I heard were incredible. But I just said, was there any sign of potential love or affection? And there were none whatsoever. It was amazing to me. There was nothing like, here, take this, it's a little extra meal.
No, they were tortured. They were absolutely tortured. They were tortured. You saw them coming out starved. It's awful. It's a nightmare. Like, again, Hamas are terrorists, all right? They literally are terrorists, and there's no reason why the world needs to just say, oh, well, they have hostages, just let them torture the hostages. It's really sad. It's fucking awful. And the reason why this war is going on is because of Hamas, and they are the number one to blame, for real.
something. They lived like hell. I don't know. They were amazing to me because they seemed to be pretty normal. They weren't scarred, but I guarantee underneath they have to be scarred. And one was there for 356 days. Another was there for about 180 days. You know, a long time. These are people that have been really, really horribly treated. I've never seen anything like it, actually. I was very surprised to hear the answer.
And Trump actually, like, dude, he knew Holocaust survivors, a lot of Holocaust survivors. His dad, okay, random Nuck story, but my grandfather knew Trump's father because they were both in like the real estate development game. Like whatever, I don't think they were ever like friends, but like, they were more acquaintances. And like, so Trump definitely has experience with Holocaust survivors. My grandfather was a Holocaust survivor, and like this dude, like it's crazy, it's wild, holy shit, it's just insane. In Scotland or in New York.
Thank you, Mr. President. Are there 2 or 3 countries that are on your list that you feel are farther along in getting their tariffs lowered?
All right. Well, Israel dropped their tariffs, so them. Also, I think Argentina dropped their tariffs, so them too.
Well, I think there are many that want to get rid of tariffs right now.
Yeah, because surprise, huge shockaroonie moment. Every country in the world, all right, this is going to be a hot take probably, but every country in the world needs America more than America needs them. America has all the cards. They are holding the cards. All the cards. They don't have the cards. America has the cards. Every other country needs America more than America needs them. So reciprocal tariffs are much worse for everyone than for America. It's fair, it's even, and it's justice. But America can survive a lot better.
European Union, I mean, as badly as they've treated us, they brought their car tariffs essentially off. I guess they brought it down to 2.5, and I hear maybe to nothing. But it's not only tariffs, it's non-monetary tariffs. It's tariffs where they put things on that make it impossible for you to sell a car. It's not a money thing. They make it so difficult, the standards and the tests. They drop a bowling ball on the top of your car from 20 feet up in the air, and if there's a little dent, they say, no, I'm sorry, your car doesn't qualify. When the same car from Germany or anything would dent likewise, unless you can have an army tank, it's going to dent. So they come up with rules and regulations that are just designed for one reason, that you can't sell your product in those.
Yeah, they will come up with any reason possible to make sure that people in their country pay them for their stuff, which again, it makes sense from the perspective of these individual countries, but looking at this from the perspective of America, why should America deal with this bullshit? All right? I know it's a really hot take, but why should America deal with this bullshit? Canada was able to get away with tariffing America like 250% for chicken, right? That's just as an example. I'm not even blaming Canada. That was a good business deal because they said 250% tariffs on America, and America said nothing to them. So listen, why not? Why not tariff America if America's not going to do anything about it? Every country should look out for their own citizens. But from the perspective of America, dog, you're going to use all your bullshit rules and regulations and manipulations to take advantage of us? With all due respect, fuck you.
Countries, and we're not going to let that happen. Those are called non-monetary barriers. They make barriers that are so tough that it's impossible to qualify. So tariffs are a big part of it, but there's another big part of it, and that's barriers. They also do something else.
So them saying, but we'll take down tariffs if you take down tariffs, but they leave up the barriers, that's still not fair trade. Everyone talks about how Trump is ruining the alliance of America with other countries. With all due respect, if your friend is taking advantage of you and giving you a wedgie every single day in the school courtyard, and then one day you give them a wedgie back, that is not, oh, you're ruining your relationship with your friend. God damn.
Manipulate their currency, and they drive it down. They want to drive.
Tariffs are just metaphorical wedgies, of course.
They want to have low currencies.
Because everyone wants to talk about politics like it's this big, complicated game, and obviously there's a lot of moving pieces, but half of it's just high school drama. Like, let's be real.
You know, it sounds better.
That's why it's so entertaining. Endless content, infinite chaos. I love it. You love it. We all love it.
High currency, a strong dollar or whatever, but they bring their currency down, and when it competes with our currency, it's very hard to sell a tractor.
This is their footage freezing. This isn't me.
And so it makes it very hard. I speak to a lot of companies that do business, tractor companies, and they say it's so hard to sell because what they've done is they've lowered the yen or they've lowered the yuan or they've lowered their currency so that it's very hard to compete. We don't want that either. So we have a lot of things that we're talking about, but we're going to fix it properly, and it's going to be fair to everybody. And in the end, I think we're going to have a world that does a lot better, you know, but they have to respect
There's growing pains, but damn.
United States.
Mr. President,
nobody but me.
He's in middle of talking. These children.
Do this. Nobody but me would do this. You know, it would be nice to serve, a nice, easy term, but we have an opportunity to change the fabric of our country. We have an opportunity to reset the table on trade.
No one had the balls to do this. It's crazy. Again, I've shown you in my video the Democrats are 190% fucked. Every single Democrat, from Obama to Pelosi to Bernie Sanders, they all said they need reciprocal tariffs. Until Trump decided to actually have the balls to do it.
We lose billions of dollars. We lose close to $2 trillion a year on trade. We lose $1 trillion a year to China.
China. I love China very much.
Hundreds of billions of dollars a year on trade.
They love me in China too.
To China. We lose hundreds of billions of dollars overall, probably close to $2 trillion. Why would we do that? Number one, why would we do that? And then you have to say, is it sustainable? Then you hear about all of the people that say, well, deficits. If we have a deficit with the country, or if the country has a big surplus with us, like China has a massive surplus that they take and they spend on their military. Well, we don't want that. I don't want them to take $500, $600 billion a year and spend it on their military. I don't want them.
No tariffs on LC signs.
Spending money on their military. And I shouldn't have to spend money. We shouldn't have to spend it either. Because, you know, hopefully, and I said this to President Xi, hopefully it's money that we're never going to use. In other words, because we're not going to use those incredible weapons that we have and that they have. We don't want that. So it's going to be very interesting. It's the only chance our country will have to reset the table. Because no other president would be willing to do what I'm doing or to even go.
I love how he's answering it like as he's trying to explain it as well as he can because he knows that everyone else is just gonna ask him the same fucking question.
Through it. Now I don't mind going through it because I see a beautiful picture at the end. But we are making tremendous progress with a lot of countries, and the countries that really took advantage of us are now saying, please negotiate. You know why? Because they're getting beaten badly because of what's happening. They're getting beaten badly.
Yeah,
they're
no
being
shit
devalued.
everyone wants to negotiate now. They thought that they could just vilify Trump in the media and he'd back down and he wouldn't keep his word. He literally kept his word about the tariffs. It's what he ran on. He literally is running it. Literally. And that's the craziest shit that we're looking at. He kept his word. He did what he promised. Everyone's losing their mind. They vilified him in the media because they hoped that he would stop. Like the playbook is so basic.
As countries. But it's the only chance we're going to have to reset the table on trade. And when we do, we're going to come out unbelievably well. We're going to have a strong country economically again. And we're going to have those factories that are empty all over the United States. We've lost 90,000 plants and factories. Think of this, 90,000, you wouldn't think it's possible. 90,000 plants and factories since NAFTA, which was, by the way, the worst trade deal ever developed, ever had by any country.
Oh Lord, he's not stopping to cook.
NAFTA. Everybody said it would be impossible. And I terminated it through Congress. We terminated it. You had to get it through Congress. It was a trap. It was a horrible thing, and we got it done. And we went to the USMCA, which was much better. The problem is they cheat. They cheat like crazy. Canada cheats, Mexico cheats, one of those things. But
Lord.
We're setting a table, and we're going to have great trade, and we're going to have a very strong country. Our country is going to be at a level that has maybe never been, or maybe, you know, our country was the strongest, believe it or not, from 1870 to 1913. You know why? It was all tariff-based. We had no income tax.
Bro does not stop.
Then in 1913, some genius came up with the idea of let's charge the people of our country, not foreign countries that are ripping off our country. And the country was never, relatively, was never that kind of wealth. We had so much wealth, we didn't know what to do with our money. We had meetings, we had committees, and these committees worked tirelessly to study one subject. We have so much money. What are we going to do with it? Who are we going to give it to? And I hope we're going to be in that position again.
Oh my God! If anyone else asks about tariffs, like honestly, ban them from the Oval Office for real. Like, what is even going on? I fully support kicking journalists in the balls. All right. Listen, I think that we need to implement this policy. A little sign-up sheet at the front door of the Oval Office. Before walking in, you need to sign away the rights to your testicles. All right, hear me out. And if they repeat the same question a dozen times, you kick them in the balls. All right? I want them signing away their testicle autonomy. I think it's important because journalists, they're children. They're children trying to get a soundbite out of the orange man. Unbelievable. Bro, everyone's been screaming about Israel and Gaza for literally the last 3 years. You have the Prime Minister of Israel sitting in the room and you're only asking about tariffs. Why are you so afraid to actually say the shit that you say on the news every single day to the guy that you're talking about? Like, for the love of God.
President, do you plan to reduce the tariffs
that
the government put on Israeli goods, 17%?
On where?
On Israeli goods, the 17%. Do you plan
well,
to
we're
reduce
talking about a whole new trade. Maybe not. Maybe not. Don't forget.
Okay.
We help Israel a lot. You know, we give.
Well, this sounds like a guy that's controlled by Israel. Am I right, guys? Sounds like this guy is really controlled by Israel. I mean, he pulled out Netanyahu's chair, after all. He's not reducing his tariffs, but he's controlled.
Israel $4 billion a year. That's a lot. Congratulations,
he's
by
right.
the way. That's pretty good.
He's congratulating him. Congratulations, I'm not taking off tariffs. Oh, fuck. That's crazy balls. Holy.
But we give Israel billions of dollars a year.
He's right.
Billions. It's one of the highest of, and we give a lot of countries money. You wouldn't believe if I said we give Afghanistan a lot of money. Do you? Because that was.
I didn't even know that. What the fuck? Everyone's complaining about Israel getting money from the U.S. when the U.S. is funding Afghanistan? Ain't no way. At least Israel helps America back. All sorts of intel on terrorist groups that want to destroy America. All sorts of wild technological shit like the Iron Dome and different weapon systems. Like, Israel at least tries to help America too. What is going on?
Biden deal, another Biden deal. Not only did he embarrass us with that, but they give them billions of dollars, Afghanistan.
You're kidding me.
So
I didn't even know that. Oh my God.
But no, we take good care of our friends and we don't take care of our enemies. We're not taking care.
God, that's crazy. Holy shit.
Of our enemies anymore, but we do take care of our friends.
Yeah, that's pretty based, honestly. It's a pretty based mantra in general. In general, a pretty based mantra. Nuxanor, you didn't see Elon expose the U.S. was financing Afghanistan? Ain't no way. Tag me on Twitter with that.
Mr. President.
For the Times of Israel, the IDF is fighting again in the Gaza Strip. I myself might be called up in a month. Do you think that's the way to pressure Hamas to get to a deal? And do you think blocking humanitarian aid is also an effective pressure tactic?
Well, you know how I feel about the Gaza Strip. I think it's an incredible piece of important real estate. And I think it's something that we would be involved in, but you know, having a peace force like the United States there, controlling and owning the Gaza Strip would be a good thing. Because right now, all it is for years and years, all I hear about is killing and Hamas and problems.
Okay, a lot of people don't know this, but over the last 20 years, Hamas shot over 11,000 missiles into Israeli cities. 11,000 missiles. I'm not sure you're actually aware of that. That is 3 times the missiles that Germany shot during World War II into England, I think, if my memory is correct. Like, that's fucking crazy. They've been doing this for a long... Hamas are terrorists. It is a terrorist organization. Do you support America sending troops into Gaza? No, I don't. I don't think America should send troops into Gaza. Israel has the firepower to wipe out Gaza. They're just trying not to do that. So I don't think America should be sending troops into Gaza.
And if you take the people, the Palestinians, and move them around to different countries, and you have plenty of countries that will do that, and you really have a freedom zone. You call it the freedom zone, a free zone, a zone where people aren't going to be killed every day. That's a hell of a place. It's a, you know what I call it, a great location.
Oh my God, it's crazy that he's referring to it as real estate. It's insane. It must be the biggest ball move of all time. What do you think of the war going on in Gaza? Great real estate. Great real estate. Love that. Fantastic real estate. How do you do that, man? Oh my God.
Nobody wants to live in, because they really don't. And when they have good living, real living, where Hamas and all of the problems they have, the level of death on the Gaza Strip is just incredible. And I've said it. I don't understand why Israel ever gave it up. Israel owned it.
Yikes, that's a controversial topic. Oh my God, Israel gave up the Gaza Strip because they thought that if the people in Gaza would have like their own governing state, there would no longer be terrorist attacks. But then they elected Hamas as their government, and Hamas, let's just say there was never another election after Hamas took over Gaza. Yeah.
This man, so I can say it, he wouldn't have given it up.
Absolutely not. There's no way Netanyahu would have given up Gaza. He wouldn't have even tried. Crazy.
Very well. There's no way. They took oceanfront property and they gave it to people for peace.
It's still a real estate discussion. It's still a real estate discussion. Oh,
how did that work out? Not good.
Is the immigration,
Mr. President?
Mr. President, is the immigration plan still on the agenda?
Which immigration?
The Trump plan. The Trump.
Gaza.
All it is a concept that I had that I think is good, and now people are copying it. You know, maybe you want to tell. People are talking about the Trump plan. Gee, why don't we do that?
Oh my God!
Would you like to answer that question?
Wait, there's no way. I didn't hear about that. No.
I think what the president talked about is, first of all, to give people a choice. You know, Gazans were closed in, and every other place, including in arenas of battle. I mean, whether it's Ukraine or Syria or any other place, people could leave. Gaza was the only place where they locked them in. We didn't lock them in. They're locked in. And what is wrong with giving people...
Yeah, apparently Egypt, which is the other border of Gaza, I think Egypt did not let a single Gazan into Egypt, which is wild.
A choice. Now, we've been talking, including over lunch, about some countries, I won't go into them right now, that are saying, you know, if Gazans want to leave, we want to take them in.
Oh.
And I think this is the right thing to do. If you give, you know, it's going to take years to rebuild Gaza. In the meantime, people can have an option. The president has a vision. Countries are responding to that vision. We're working on it. I hope we'll have good news for you.
Mr. President, on manufacturing, Mr. President.
Excuse me, people.
Bro, he's trying to talk. I can't stand the media. They're like absolutely insufferable.
I really do love that vision. It's a long-term vision, but so importantly is to have that be a safe field, because you're right smack in the middle of the Middle East. You're right along Israel. It should have never, ever been given away. It shouldn't have been given away by Israel. I don't know why they did it. I mean, I do know why, because they were promised peace, but that didn't work out too well.
The reason why they gave away Gaza was because that was supposed to be like a place for the people in Gaza to live, and then it would be like peace. And then over the next 20 years, 11,000 missiles were shot into civilian cities. So, yeah, it didn't work. Turns out terrorists, oops.
Well, because it's one of the most dangerous pieces of land anywhere in the world. Gaza is one of the most dangerous places in the world. So they gave it away for a good intention, and it didn't work out that way. And a lot of people like my concept, but you know, there are other concepts that I like too. And there's some concepts I don't like. You know what I don't like? The way it is now. Because right now it's a dangerous death trap, Gaza. Yeah.
Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Can you talk a little bit about your potential meeting with Vladimir Putin? Do you still plan to meet with him? Could that happen in Saudi Arabia? And maybe you could elaborate as well a little bit on not providing tariffs on Russia, sir.
So the reason we're not talking about tariffs with Russia is because we're not doing business essentially with Russia, because they're in a war. And I'm not happy about what's going on with...
By the way, the person in my chat that said that America was funding Afghanistan, they were actually like correct. Apparently, DOGE fought for days to gain access to the United States Institute of Peace, and eventually, with the help of the FBI and Metro Police, DOGE was able to access the agency and discovered massive fraud, waste, and abuse, including payments to Taliban and Iraq. So, yeah, anyway, turns out, oops.
With the bombing, because they're bombing like crazy right now. They're bombing, I don't know what's happening there. That's not a good situation. So we're meeting with Russia, we're meeting with Ukraine, and we're getting sort of close, but I'm not happy with all the bombing that's going on the last week or so. Horrible. It's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing.
Mr. President,
Can countries negotiate to get below 10%?
All negotiations are on the table. Just you have to see what they put up. I hate these questions. Can a country negotiate for this? Well, I don't know. What's their side of the bargain?
Tariffs, yes.
Look, we've been
these tariff questions are actually retarded.
ripped off and taken advantage of for 40, 50, 60 years. And the reason we got ripped off and the way they did it was tariffs.
Here we go again.
They would charge tariffs. Massive
America
numbers
is
of
treated
dollars.
poorly by everyone.
And when you look at China, when I took over, it was at $507 billion they were making. I call it
90,000
making. A lot of
warehouses.
people say, oh, it doesn't mean anything. Having a surplus means a lot, in my opinion. It's almost like a profit or loss statement. And when I took over, it was $507 billion that China was, this is originally, first
China.
And we were very, very tough on them because they were taking that money and they were building a military with it. Then when Biden came in, he let them get away with murder. He had no idea. I'll tell you what, that man had no idea what was happening, whether it was the border or China or anything else. He had no idea what was going on.
It was a puppet, I'd
they
say.
they
A
went
walking
wild.
corpse.
China went
Didn't
wild.
even walk very well
And
for
the
a
money they
corpse.
make is ridiculous, okay? It's just not going to happen. And hopefully we'll get along with China. If we do, that's great. And if we don't, that's okay too. But we can't let that continue because that's an abuse. They abused the poor people that sat in this seat. That poor Biden, he was abused by them. They took
He was a
advantage of him,
retard,
and I'm
not his
surprised.
fault.
You know, they have smart people. They were radical left lunatics, but they're smart. I'm surprised they'd allow that to take, to happen. But we are going to bring great trade, and we're going to be fair to other countries. And I will say this, virtually every country wants to negotiate. If I didn't do what I did over the last couple of weeks, you wouldn't have anybody wants to negotiate.
He's right.
We would have gone to these countries, you
He's
want
right.
to talk, and they were, well, we don't want to talk. Now they're coming to us.
Yeah, because every single country worked together to flame Trump as an idiot. That was literally their entire plan. They wanted to label him as a fool and label him as abusive and a tyrant so he wouldn't actually go through with this. He actually did go through with it, and now everyone wants to bargain. Crazy how that happens.
They're offering things like even Bibi, and this is unrelated because it's a different kind of a relationship, but he started off our conversation today that he's cutting all of the tariffs, he's cutting everything, he's going to get down to a free base, he's going to do things that, in all fairness, other countries, if they said that, would have never even thought about doing it. Now they're offering things to us that we would have never even thought of asking them for.
Yeah.
Because
He's not wrong.
they're experiencing a lot of hurt. And the hurt is that they've taken advantage of us and we finally fought back.
I'm just saying, a true friend would not only wait until their friend puts reciprocal tariffs on them. A true friend might not have done that altogether. I love that the world is trying to position Trump as this evil guy that's ruining their friendships. But realistically, if your friend is taking advantage of you, then they're not a really good friend.
Tariffs will make this country very rich. We're rich anyway, but we're rich in a certain way. We have $36 trillion in debt. I want to get rid of it, and we can do it quickly with proper deals. So when countries don't allow us to sell our product, but we allow them to sell their product, when they charge us massive amounts of money for the privilege of going into their country, those days are over. Okay?
Mr. President, one more on manufacturing. Mr. President, on manufacturing, Mr. President.
Me?
Sure.
Me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President.
On Iran, two questions, please.
All
First,
right.
if you can give us more details about where the meeting on Saturday is going to
I
take
can't
place.
tell you that. I can just tell you there's a major meeting going on between us and Iran, and that'll take place on Saturday, and it's at top level.
And the second question about this. A lot of people think that those talks are not going to lead anywhere because the Iranians
Maybe
will
right.
never give up their nuclear program.
I think it's
If
a
diplomacy fails, is the United States under your leadership ready to take military action to destroy
That's a question. Oh my, finally.
the Iranian nuclear program and remove this threat?
He's gonna say yes. Oh God.
I think if the talks aren't successful with Iran, I think Iran is going to be in great danger.
Oh my God. Oh Lord.
And I hate to say it, great danger, because they can't have a nuclear weapon.
So is that a yes?
You know, it's not a complicated formula. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's all there is.
So is
Can't
the
have
US
it.
ready to
Right
take
now, we have
military
countries
action?
that have nuclear power that shouldn't have it. But I'm sure we'll be able to negotiate out of that too as part of this later on down the line. But Iran cannot have a nuclear
Here we
weapon.
go again.
And if the talks aren't successful, I actually think it'll be a very bad day for Iran if that's the case. Yeah.
Mr. President,
That is a very nice way to say yes without saying yes. I appreciate it.
President, on manufacturing.
Dude, and I think, in my opinion, all the people that say that Trump shouldn't say this type of thing, I think they're all wrong. I think they're all so wrong. I am shocked that you have people. I think even Tucker Carlson said this. I was like blown away. He said that that they shouldn't focus on Iran. I'm like floored. If Iran gets nuclear weapons, everyone's in trouble, including America. America is in big trouble if Iran gets nuclear weapons. I don't. This isn't controversial. Iran funds terrorist organizations that are all spouting death to Israel. Like, oh my God.
Mr. President.
Was October 7th the death blow of the two-state solution, and would you consider classifying
See, that's a good question.
the Palestinian Authority as a terrorist organization for its continued pay-for-slay terror financing payments?
Damn.
So October 7th was a horrible day that some people, they deny it. Now, I can't believe they deny it from the standpoint of they do it because
He's talking about Hassan Piker, who denies that rapes happened on October 7th.
they think it's good politically. But I've seen the tapes, I've seen things that you don't want to see. October 7th was a horrible day, and it will go down as one of the really bad days in the history of the world. It was a horrible thing that happened. And they grabbed some of these people. I'll give you an example. When I was with the 10 hostages a few weeks ago, I said, so how many are there? 59. I said, oh, so 59, so we can get 59. They sort of knew the territory pretty good. And I said, how are they doing? They said, well, only 24 are living, the rest are dead. And these are young people largely. Young people don't die. You know, young people have an amazing ability to live. They can live through horrible things, but these are young people. And when they said that 24 are living and the rest are dead, and you know, I've had parents come up, Israeli parents largely. We have some Americans, and I guess we have one left, Alex. We have the one left. But I've had Israeli parents come up to me at events and say, my son is there. I said, well, how's he doing? Well, he's dead. But would you do me the biggest favor ever? Could you bring his body back home? They talked about a young dead boy and a young dead girl like they were living. And that could have something to do with religion. That could have something to do with, I guess maybe any parent would be, but I was surprised. They said, sir, my son is dead. It is just as important to bring that body back home. I asked that question as if he were alive. So you have a lot of them dead, and we'll be able to bring them back. But it's a
tragic
horrible
that this
thing
even
that's
needs to
happening.
be like a
These
discussion.
are largely young people. Some old ones too, frankly. And those people have lived in hell. When they came off, the second group that came out, they looked like they just got out of a concentration camp. They looked exactly like the pictures that I'd see from the 1940s, the concentration camps. And then they got a little bit better, you know, but that second group, those people came out and I said, this is unbelievable. We're going back into a chapter in history that is one of the worst ever. It's really very bad. Okay?
Mr. President.
God damn. Holy shit. Yeah, that's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, no, he really talks well, Trump. I mean, say what you want. Bro speaks from the heart, and he means what he says. And that's more than I can say about basically any other politician out there. That's wild.
Mr. President, you've said, Mr. President, thank you. You've said it could take 2 years to get American manufacturing fully up to speed.
Oh my God, this bitch. She did the same shtick earlier. She asked this question earlier.
In response to these tariffs, what happens in the meantime? Should Americans be prepared potentially for years of uncertainty and disruption?
We have now $7 trillion. Think of this, $7 trillion of commitments from companies.
They need to not let her back in next time. I'm sorry. They need to not let these people in the time after. If they act like a bitch in the office, they are not allowed in the next meeting. This isn't suppressing freedom of speech. This is suppressing retards.
Money to go in from Apple to many, many companies.
But that takes time.
Many from Taiwan.
What if Madara drops the second meteor, Mr. President?
What?
That takes time to fully manufactured products here in the U.S.
Are you telling me? Yeah, it takes.
He's so right. He's so right. She is literally just there. He is literally, these reporters are there to sit there and lecture the president so that they can get their voice heard on the news. These people should not be there at all.
You know, you got to build a thing called a factory.
Oh no! I love how he's talking to her like she's a child. So there are these things called factories.
To build your energy, you have to do a lot of things. I'm giving them energy. You know, we're going to let them build their own power plants. They'll be their own. Essentially, they're going to be in charge of the power plant because our power is not reliable enough. You have a grid that's old and susceptible to a lot of things, including bombing and weather and a lot of other things. And we're going to give them record timing in terms of approvals of electric plants. Most of them want to build electric plants. We need massive...
Ma'am, you are retard. That's what he meant to say. He just said it in a nicer way.
...amounts of electricity.
With all due respect, ma'am.
China and others.
Retard.
And interestingly, we're way ahead right now in the AI race with China. But the way we lose that race is if we can't give them electric. But we have more plants being built. We have everything. We're doing so great. And we want to keep it that way. And tariffs will be an important part of it.
I wonder how many of the reporters in this room called Netanyahu a war criminal on the news. And now they're not even going to ask him questions when he's there. I wonder.
But one of the other things, Lee Zeldin's doing a fantastic job, head of environmental protection. And he's doing very rapid approvals for people to get, for big companies that are going to build a plant that's going to cost billions of dollars. And we're going to get them their approvals. They have to be environmentally perfect, everything good, but they're going to be in record time, a matter of months versus a matter of many, many years.
But in the meantime, Americans will face uncertainty, sir? In the meantime, Americans face uncertainty?
Yeah, Lisa.
Yeah, done with her. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Turkey claims it will stabilize the situation in Syria.
Turkey?
Yeah. Israel doesn't want Turkey to influence Syria. What do you think? Do you think Turkey's influence in Syria can actually make it a better, more peaceful country, or vice versa?
Well, I have great relations with a man named Erdogan. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
And I happen to like him, and he likes me, and I know the press will get very angry.
Oh,
He
no.
likes Erdogan.
Are you allowed to like people from other countries where there's disagreements? Liking a person? Oh shit, Trump's in trouble now.
But I do, and he likes me, and we've never had a problem, and we've gone through a lot, and we've never had a problem. We've always got, as you remember, we got our minister back from Turkey. You remember that? And this was a big deal at the time, and we got him back. And I told the prime minister, I said, just, Bibi, if you have a problem with Turkey, I really think I'm going to be able to work it out. You know, I have a very, very good relationship with Turkey and with their leader. And I think we'll be able to work it out. So I hope that's not going to be a problem. I don't think it will be a problem.
All right, we'll see.
Now, with that being said, I believe it was Turkey, and I said that to him. I said it. I said, congratulations. You've done what nobody's been able to do in 2,000 years. You've taken over Syria with different names, but same thing. I said, you've taken it over. He's taken it over through surrogates. He goes, no, it was not me. I said, it was you. But
Oh my God, they're trying to play him like an idiot. No, it wasn't me. It was the different organizations that I directly funded and ordered. It is a totally different thing. And Trump is like, all right, dude, come on, man. Come, please. My guy, please.
okay, you don't have to say, well, it sort of maybe was me. Okay.
Oh my God.
Look, he's a tough guy. And he's very smart. And
Listen, man, if you were a real reporter that actually had balls, you know, you would literally say to Trump, hey, Trump, don't you know that the current leader of Turkey is exhibiting a lot of dictatorial behaviors? Why are you not, like, very anti the fact that Turkey is kind of becoming a fucking dictatorial situation? That's what I would ask personally if I was there. But, like, they're not asking any even remotely interesting questions. It's just tariffs and basic, are you gonna go to war with Iran? Are you gonna go to war for Syria? Come on, guys. What do they pay you for?
And he did something that nobody was able to do. You know, you got to hand it to him. Any problem that you have with Turkey, I think I can solve. I mean,
all right, that sounds nice, I guess.
As long as you're reasonable. You have to be reasonable. We have to be reasonable. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Is there a deadline to reach an
They do not stop.
Thank you, press. Thank you.
Bye, press.
Head out still through the far door. Straight where we came in.
The reporters are so frustrating. It's like, it's so wildly frustrating how they are every single time.
Thank you.
I feel like you can ask so many like important questions about the world. The fact that they all just sit there and regurgitate their bullshit is so fucking frustrating. Like literally so frustrating. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. I thought it was good. All in all, hearing Trump talk, hearing Netanyahu talk, hearing what they're planning with Iran, shit. I don't know. It's good shit. It's interesting stuff. And I love watching reporters get made fun of. Making fun of retards is something of a hobby of mine. You see, most people watch the retard discussions for the responses. I watch the retard discussions for the retards. Hell yeah, baby. Love that shit. Definitely subscribe. I will see you in the next retard showdown. Subscribe for more tards. This was good shit. This was good shit. All right. See you in the next one, gamers. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.